welcome inside this week, the CEC TV studios. It's episode 5 of Women's Basketball Weekly. I'm Carrick Segmiller, Assistant Coordinator of Media Relations, as always joined by Women's Basketball Head Coach JD Gustin. We'll also hear from Senior Guard Matti Ventling a little bit later in the show today. But Coach, let's dive right into it. We got a lot to talk about with the Thanksgiving break and a few other things. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to sit down and have this conversation, so I'm excited to dive into it. And let's do just that. A lot of games to talk about. Your team is 5-3 at this point through 8 games. You've matched your win total from last season already. Just recap quickly the last couple of weeks for us, and then we can dive in and talk about each game individually a little bit.
Well, with the exhibition game at Utah State, it was 8 games in 18 days, and it was quite a whirlwind. And I'm happy with the way that our kids kind of battled through that. I think it was a challenging time. We had a certain amount of offense in and a certain amount of defense in, and we just kind of fought through those 8 games with that amount of stuff in. And so to be done with that now, and it's nice to be able to start adding things and improving things. And but yeah, overall, I like where we're at right now. When we last talked, you were just getting ready to play Colorado Mesa the next day. Very tough, always tough school at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. Dropped that game, but since then have won 4 out of your last 5, and the other loss was a close loss up at Division I, Utah Valley. What did you learn maybe in that Colorado Mesa game that has helped win 4 out of the last 5 now? Well, the Mesa game was extremely disappointing to us because we didn't get ourselves ready to play. We didn't match their intensity. They came out and were very aggressive. Their movements were just simply faster and stronger than ours, and not, of course, what we practice. So I think our kids really learned from that game, and since then we've been more prepared. And then the Utah Valley game, I think, down 2 with 50 seconds to go, and had a chance to win. It's all you can ask for on the road. So we're just trying to get better every day and get ready for this conference season. Of course, we don't want to talk about the losses. You got big wins over Montana State Northern, Antelope Valley, and then just this last week against Academy of Art, overcame a slow start and then and fought back, tied at the half, and overcame another deficit in the second half. I think that's been maybe a theme of this year's team that we haven't seen in the past couple of years of this program, is some resiliency and the ability to fight back when you're down. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no question. We haven't folded, so I'm proud of our kids for that. But we shouldn't. So I think while we're I guess happy to not be folding, but we shouldn't be. So it is what it is, and we have to fight all the time, regardless of what the situation is. But yeah, the Academy of Arts game was a good one. They've kind of had our numbers over the years. They really slapped us hard last year, and to get down and then to respond and find a way to win a close game was great for us. Of course, one thing that I look at when I see each of these wins, it's almost like a different position of players, group of players has kind of stepped up. In the Northern game, it was the post play, as well as Antelope Valley. Miley and Kristen had big games against Antelope Valley. Some of the guards against Northern Academy of Art, and between Moyaki and Mariah Martine, have stepped up. It's been fun in different games and different situations to see each different group of players step up. It's not just one person out there carrying the load. Right, and that's the way that we want to be here in Dixie State women's basketball. We want to be balanced and do things collectively together. And that's kind of been the case. I think we have good guards, we have good bigs. This last game, our bigs kind of had a tough night, and our guards kind of bailed us out. And hopefully that'll be a recipe for finding ways to win. One thing that's maybe been just a little bit concerning over the past couple of weeks is you can go back and you look in that Mesa game, even in the wins over Westminster and Academy of Art, it's maybe a little bit of a slow start. You find yourself in almost maybe a double-digit hole in the first half, and you have to fight back. How have you addressed that to try to help those fast starts and then finish strong? I think part of that is just us being new, us having kids that haven't been in these situations before. We haven't haven't played together very much, and I think once our group gets more comfortable and confident, I think hopefully those slow starts will go away.
For the past couple of weeks, your freshmen, of course, a very talented freshman class this year, but a couple of weeks ago it was Taylor Moyaki. This last week it was Mariah Martin earning Freshman of the Week honors, and Martin's week last week was really probably up there in the top 3 of the conference in a bid for Player of the Week. But just talk about those two and everything they've brought to the team this year and what it means to your team to bring in these weekly awards.
Yeah, they're good players, and so I'm not surprised by it at all. I actually had to apologize to my team on Monday because we didn't even really address these awards. I have a little bit of a, I guess, problem with individual awards because I believe you don't get them without the whole group, and so but we recognized them and said good job. But again, our team doesn't. I mean, we want to be about us, not the individual. And but yeah, like I said, they're good players, and it's not surprising at all.
Team game.
That's right.
For sure, absolutely. Right. Let's talk quickly before we wrap things up here just about the opponent this weekend. You played so many games, like you said, 8 games in 18 days, and then all of a sudden you play the Academy of Art, and then you wait a whole week and play Azusa Pacific, and then you have a couple weeks off for the Christmas break before you play Point Loma. So that slows down a little bit, but you have a whole week to get ready for a very tough opponent on Saturday in Azusa Pacific, nationally ranked. We've talked a couple of times this week already. It's hard to really find a weakness that you can exploit with that team.
Yeah, we just have a ton of respect for Azusa Pacific. I've known TJ for years, and he just does a great job. They don't have a weakness. They have great guards, great bigs. They really can shoot it. I like the way that they play. They're really aggressive defensively, and you leave them for a minute, and they're going to make it. And so we have our work cut out for us. So I hope that we can just come ready to play and kind of fight. Give a great overall effort, and we're really going to try and limit their 3-point attempts. If we can limit their 3-point attempts, and we're also going to try and get to the free throw line. We're really going to be aggressive going downhill in a number of things that we do. Hopefully we can make it competitive. I think you can have a chance to win if you play well. I'm not saying but there's no question we'll have to play well to have a chance.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in the game. We'll be paying close attention to it, and again, just congratulate you on the first 8 games of the season. Obviously, there's a ton of basketball left to be played, so the congratulations are just in order there. It's been fun to watch this team, and excited for the rest of the season and for our chats.
I better say hi to my wife, Trish, and Avery and Reese and Drew, because they're big fans and they watch this stuff. We might start doing that once a week, saying hi to somebody. But and then, like always, thank you for doing this. We really appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate being a part of it. I said it a couple different times throughout these different episodes. It's fun for me and for us in the athletic department to see teams come up with their own ideas to promote themselves, and we're happy to help with that promotion. So thanks, Coach.
You betcha.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by senior guard Matti Ventling. Sit down and get to know her a little bit better. This is Women's Basketball Weekly, Episode 5. Right back after this timeout. Welcome back inside this week's edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. Today we're happy to be joined by senior guard Matti Ventling, senior out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Matti, thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know that the life of a student athlete is just go, go, go constantly. We appreciate you stopping by and helping you get that we can get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, of course.
Let's just jump right into it. Like I said, we want to get to know you a little bit better and talk about this year's team. But first, when I talk to student athletes, I always am interested in and like to know what kind of brought them to Dixie State. So this is your second year at Dixie State. Obviously, you started in your junior year here last year. What was it that kind of jumped up at you about Dixie State? I know you're from Vegas, and maybe that played a role in it. It's close to home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that played a big role in it. I wanted to be closer to home so that these last 2 years my family could come watch me and be more interactive with me. And I really liked the campus, and I liked the coaches, and everything was really new. So I wanted to be like a foundation piece for Dixie, and I thought that would be a really cool thing to do.
And I like the way you said that, the foundation piece. It's obviously a program that's on the up and up and just has nothing but a bright future ahead. And I'm sure you were just excited to be part of that, like I said, lay a foundation for years to come for this program, what it's going to be eventually.
Right. Yeah, so that was the big goal of mine, just to, because I believed in the coach's vision when I came in to get recruited. So I was excited, and I'm still here, and it's awesome.
Was it a little bit of a transition last year? Obviously, you know, winning through high school, and then you go to play at the College of Southern Idaho, a great winning tradition up there, and then you come down here and did some great things. But 5-21 was probably not the year that you had in mind last year. I think Coach Gustin would probably say the same thing. But was there a little bit of a transition there to kind of get used to, okay, we're building not only for this year but for next year as well?
Right. Yeah, it was a big transition piece, and it was something that you just have to fight through the adversity. And if we all stick together and stay on the same page, that we'll get through it. So that's just my mindset, like, let's just do the best we can and work through things and build for better years.
And obviously through 8 games this year, you can kind of see the message that JD, that Coach Gustin was preaching, and Coach Yazzie all last year. I mean, you're 5-3 through 8 games this year. You're matching your win total already from last year, and great things to come this year. What's something that has made this year's team special or maybe unique versus other teams that you've been a part of?
Yeah, it's been easier with like returners, and we can kind of like show the freshmen like how to do things, because last year it was just us just figuring things out. So that's been a lot easier, and I feel like our new people came in and they're really stepping up and playing big roles, and that's a big deal, and I feel like everyone's really buying in to the system.
You're one of just a few seniors on the team this year. A lot of freshmen, one sophomore, and a few juniors as well. How much weight and responsibility have you put on yourself to kind of say, I got to go out there and be a leader and show these underclassmen what college basketball is all about? Because you can be the best freshman in the country, but there's still going to be a little bit of a transition from the high school game to the college game.
Right. I try not to put a lot of pressure on me. I mean, I just try to lead by example and just do what is right, and just they're good players. They pick up, and it's been a transition, but everyone has been handling it really well. I mean, winning 5 games, so it's been good.
What's been your favorite moment so far this year? Let's talk about that, and then maybe we'll ask you about your favorite moment, just basketball in general. What's been your favorite moment of this year so far? It's a young season, only 8 games in, but you're 5-3. What's been your favorite moment or favorite game that you've been a part of so far this season?
My favorite game was the game we won against the close game.
Westminster?
Westminster. That was fun, because like they're going to be in the conference next year, so they're like going to be our new rivals, since we're Utah schools, only Utah schools in the RMAC. And I thought that was a good piece, because we lost to them by like 10 or 11 last year. So to see that transition and pull through and finally win a close game, that was really fun to be a part of.
Of course, you mentioned the move to the RMAC as well. So the last season in the Pac West Conference, and this is only your second year in the conference. A lot of girls on the team this is their first year in the conference, so they don't really have any strong ties to the Pac West necessarily. But how much does that come up with the team this year? Hey, this is our last go around in the Pac West this year. We didn't exactly do what we wanted to do last year, so we want to go out and show the conference that we're better than that. Right.
Yeah, that's been part of discussions, like, because right now we're pretty high in the rankings, and we just want to stay up there. And our conference is tough, so if we can make an impact in this conference, we're going to be able to make an impact in any conference. So that's been a fun journey to be a part of.
Ask you about your favorite moment this year. Favorite moment just any time playing basketball. Maybe it was the first 3-pointer you ever made playing City League ball. Maybe it was time at CSI. I know I'm putting you on the spot there, but can you pick out a moment or two as you think back over your basketball career?
Yeah, I'll say one of my favorite moments was probably at CSI when we beat Salt Lake in the region for second time back to back, and because we lost to them like multiple times, but we always finished through and beat them in the region tournament. And it was a close game, and we ended up pulling through, and it was really fun because winning back-to-back was just exciting. And I'll say here at Dixie, one of the most memorable moments was, I think, our last game last season, because we played really hard and we won our like first game at home, or no, second game at home. And it showed us what we could be because we played really fast and upbeat, and that was a really good thing to like bring into this season of what is to come.
Fun moments for sure. I spent a year up in Twin Falls, so I know a little bit about the almost the animosity between CSI and Salt Lake. So certainly that would be a big moment there. What just to wrap things up here, what is it about the game of basketball that you love so much? I know that's kind of another on the spot question, but what is it that's all these years just kept you coming back to it?
It's just, what's so fun about it is that anyone can win on any day, any team, and it's just who shows up that day. And basketball is a game of runs, and it's just who went on more runs during the game, and it's just a great game. I love the speed and the tempo, and the momentum just brings me happiness when I play.
I agree with you there with that assessment. There's nothing better than hearing the squeak of the shoes and the ball bouncing in the gym. Anytime I know and walk around the Burns up in the concourse, when I hear that noise again, I think, oh, okay, it's October, it's November, it's all is right. Basketball is getting closer, has started again. So it's certainly a great sport. We appreciate you stopping by. We can help get to know you a little bit better, and it's been fun and a great season so far, and we wish you all the best throughout the rest of the year this year. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of Women's Basketball Weekly. Do want to remind you the Trailblazers will be in action hosting number 13 Azusa Pacific on Saturday, December 9th at 1:30 p.m. inside the Burns Arena. You can see that game on CEC TV, TDS Cable Channel 22, as well as on the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page. That is youtube.com/Dixie State Athletics. Appreciate you watching. This has been Women's Basketball Weekly. We'll catch you next time on the show.